Young ladies, if you would come to lamb service. I appreciate your love. Addison and Avery Buell. Won't be too long till Harper will show her a magic trick every once in a while. She's still a little bit mystified. Doesn't know what in the world Pops is doing. I'm trying to figure out. She seems a lot of it, like it, most of it makes sound or has lights. Understand you're leaving on a jet plane this week. Not really. You're going on a trip, aren't you? All right, I want to see if you can pronounce this, because if you can't, you can't go. All right, where are you going? Louisiana. All right, Louisiana. But it's actually just Louisiana. Now, we're not from there, so we call it Louisiana, and that's the way it's pronounced, or Louisiana. But what city you're going to, you got to be real careful right here now. Nolens.
No.
Okay? You're going to Nolens. Will they get to be the beignet, do you think?
Yeah, we will definitely do that.
All right.
That's on our plan.
All right. You have a mission then. It may be cold and crusty, but bring me a beignet. Okay? You know what a beignet is? It's like a donut without a hole, and it's covered with powdered sugar.
And you eat it with pigeons around your feet.
You eat it with pigeons around. Don't bring any pigeons.
You did.
Another dance competition. Did y'all know that dancing, Baptists, we don't even believe in it? All the worse for Baptists, I guess. Well, I hope you do well, as you did last week. I miss you, though, and I got to watch you on TV as well. Well, I want to share a song with you here today. It's a lamb service instead of an object lesson. Every song has a story. Every song. There's not a song in the world that's ever been written that doesn't have a story, because something happens in somebody's life, or their heart, or they see something, or they feel something, and they write a song. So the world is filled with wonderful songs. One of the most prolific, successful, wonderful songwriters that has ever lived, someone came to and complained one time and said, all you do is write these silly love songs. His name is Paul McCartney. And you know what he did? He wrote a song called Silly Love Songs. The world has had enough of silly love songs. So he says, and the chorus is, I love you, I love you. He's really rubbing it in their face, so that's great. That's great. Let me tell you something. A long time ago, when I was a little boy, this is not standing beside the television, and we used to love, before, and we didn't go to church, so we watched television on Sunday night, and we watch television on Sunday night now, but there's no good shows on. Ed Sullivan is gone, but we had always watched Bonanza and Walt Disney World. Disney used to have a program on every Sunday night, and they did Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone, and it did the cartoons as well, things like that. But the most amazing thing that you've probably never even seen, at the beginning of every program on Sunday night, guess who would come out and just talk to you like you were a person?
Mr. Disney.
Yeah, Mr. Walt Disney would come out in his study, and he would tell you, he would introduce what you're going to be, and he'd just talk to you like a person. And I was just a little boy. But as I got a little bit older, I was looking for something a little more grown up. And on the CBS channel, we had 3 channels then, on CBS in 1967. What were you doing in 1967? In 1967, CBS started an entertainment variety show. Now, it was, the stars, or the leaders, were 2 brothers.
Yeah. Tom and Dick.
Tom and Dick Smothers. The Smothers Brothers. Sounds funny already. And they had already been appearing on they were becoming very, very popular on the Tonight Show, and on, that was even before Johnny Carson, and on the Ed Sullivan Show and different shows. and they played the guitar. Well, actually, Dick played a bass guitar, and Tommy played the six-string guitar. They sang silly songs and did comedy, and they were just hilarious, and they were wonderful together. One of my favorite bits that they used to do was that they had a song called A Vat of Chocolate. Vat of Chocolate. I'm not going to sing it for you. That's not what this song is. But they're singing along, and in the chorus, it says, what would you do if you fell into a vat, a big vat, a big, huge vat of chocolate at a candy factory, you know? What would you do if you fell into the chocolate? And Tommy said, I would yell fire. And so Dick just stopped, and he says, wait a minute, so you fell into a vat of chocolate, you would yell fire? He says, yeah, I think if I yelled out chocolate, nobody would come to help me. Come on, that's hilarious. The thing about it is that Dick and Tommy, I've picked up Tommy's trade line for my own. He always told Dick, Mom always liked you best. And that was true in our lives. My mother always liked my brother best. And that was always very obvious to me. But they had cutting-edge humor, and they talked a lot about the president and the people in Congress and about the Vietnam War. And they upset some people. They made some people mad. So ultimately, their show only lasted a couple of years. They got fired. Now, I think that was probably the first time I'd ever seen censorship. We don't like you. We don't like what you're saying, so you're fired. And people are still trying to do that these days. They want you to shut up if they don't like what you're saying. Listen, let people say things. Don't ever tell people to shut up. It's not nice to tell people to shut up, is it? Avery, should you tell people to shut up? All right. Shut up then. But there are going to be people who say things that you don't like or even make you mad. Well, they fired Tom and Dick. They still became very popular, but it was hard for them to get a job for a while. Funny thing that in their first year, they did things that they were just saying, well, we just give them Dick and Tommy every Sunday night? And I said, no, let's kind of go on a vacation. And they did. In that first year, during the summertime, they had announced to everybody, we're not going to be here for a couple of months. They just kind of went on a little hiatus. And so on the Sunday night, I was interested in seeing, they told us who it was, but I'd never heard of him. It was a country boy, kind of a country singer.
Hi, everybody. I'm Glenn Campbell.
And he was Glenn Campbell. And he became the host of the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour for a couple of months, and nobody had ever heard of him. Now, a few people had, because he actually had one hit song. It was probably the biggest song that he ever, he didn't write the song, but he did perform it, called Gentle on My Mind. And he was very country. And Glenn Campbell was his name, and he actually was a very fantastic guitar player. And so he actually had kind of cut his teeth playing his guitar in other bands and for other musicians. He played for a lot of people as they recorded and as they played and performed. And he was an amazing musician. It was just, and I don't think the world ever really recognized that until perhaps the latter part of his life and his career. But he wrote this song that I'm going to sing to you today. And the reason I've been singing it to myself because it's got a lot of the key words in this song that I've been preaching about for 2 or 3 weeks. And so this is a perfect song, and it was written by Glenn Campbell. He became very famous. He actually even starred in a movie with John Wayne called True Grit, and he played a very important role in that. So I don't know if he ever starred in any other movie besides that, but he played a lawman, a kind of a Texas Ranger kind of a person in that Western. But he had a very long and industrious and very successful, he wrote many songs, Rhinestone Cowboy and Wichita Lineman, just some wonderful songs, and he became a very well-known and beloved entertainer. In the latter part of his life, he developed a disease called Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's disease affects your mind. And Glenn Campbell lost everything. He couldn't walk about. He couldn't speak. He lost the ability to have a conversation or to do anything much. He lost almost everything. His mind kind of went away. And actually, it's quite an inspirational story. If you have an interest you can go and just type his name into YouTube. And his wife, after Glenn Campbell has passed away now, he has been gone now 2 or 3 years. But when he died, she let the whole world know kind of what he'd been struggling with in the last years of his life, battling Alzheimer's disease. It appeared that God does these things, and we could say, oh, the devil did that, but I believe we can see the hand of God even in a tragedy like this or a sadness. God took away everything from Glenn Campbell except one thing. They would put him in a wheelchair or set him on the edge of the bed, and he wouldn't even look at him. He wouldn't even speak. He was just like an empty shell, and they would hand him his guitar. And he could play, and he could sing as well as he ever did. He never missed a note. He never missed a word. And even though he couldn't have a conversation, couldn't talk, couldn't function, couldn't even feed himself or keep himself clean, he could sing. So sometimes, and I'm going to be talking in my sermon today about what Jesus called pruning. He says sometimes God takes away things from us. Sometimes he clips away or he removes things. And sometimes he removes it all. Sometimes, like in Glenn Campbell's life, he took away everything except, and I can say, Glenn Campbell had a very kind of a sketchy life. It was sometimes wild, and it was filled with alcohol and drugs and all different kinds of lawlessness. But in the last years of Glenn's life, his faith and his relationship to Jesus became the most important. Before he lost himself, he came home. So God took away those things and left him his music. This song is called Try a Little Kindness. If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seeds he sowed, if you see your sister falling by the way, just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness. Yes, show a little kindness. Shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of narrow-minded people on their narrow-minded streets. Don't walk around the down and out. Lend a helping hand instead of doubt. And the kindness that you show every day will help someone along their way. You've got to try a little kindness. Yes, show a little kindness. Shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of narrow-minded people, narrow-minded streets. All right. I hope maybe I've introduced you to someone that you never knew before, and you can learn a little bit about him. I believe the Lord used him mightily, more in the last years of his life than in all the other years of his life combined. And by the way, try a little kindness, okay? All right, shut up.
No.
Thank you.